Good morning, Lighthouse. I'm doing this morning's devotional on Psalm 24. I'm kicking it off with verses 1 and 2, and it says this. First of all, the psalm is entitled The King of Glory, so it's going to be a good one. Verse 1. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world and those who dwell therein. For he has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the rivers. Now, I instantly think of the story of Job when I read that. And if you haven't, go read the story of Job. But particularly the end, and I'm sure I've said this many times, but the end of the story of Job, he's moaning, but he's lost everything. So rightfully so. I mean, everything's been taken from him. Family have died. It's really a sad story. And God comes in the scene and doesn't do any of the things that we expect God to do at that moment. And he simply says, "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me if you have understanding. Where were you when I said to the sea, go this far but no further?" And he begins to describe these mysteries that are just unfathomable to us, but it gives us an incredible sense of awe and glory, and that just God is colossal, which is not a bad place to start with this psalm. And I want to just mention two things on this. The first is to be environmentally conscious. This is something which is very close to my heart. I'm very passionate about, and I'm not just saying that like some people do. You might have heard people say, "Oh, I'm very passionate about it," but actually they're not really. You know, I'm the guy making his own toothpaste. Eating predominantly plant-based. I don't even use toilet paper, right? And I know what you're thinking. That is exactly the thing that you wanted to hear on a Monday morning while you're eating your cornflakes. I apologise. I won't say anything else that's going to put you off your breakfast. But it's true. It is genuinely a big passion of mine. But I believe that it should be for all Christians. I don't believe we've been given the space to not see this as exceptionally important. I believe God's heart is for the environment, for looking after it. And I believe it is our mandate to reflect the heart of God to the people, to the rest of the world. I think that is one of our roles as Christians. But not only that, I believe it is also our responsibility to actually change. So not only be conscious, but to actually put stuff in and change. So for you right now watching, it might mean that you think, "Oh, actually, I probably should change this." Yeah, it's tough, but so is following Jesus sometimes, and it is important. The second thing I want to mention is we sometimes have bad theology around where the kingdom of heaven is, or God's kingdom is, and where does it stop? Where's the line? And then where does the kind of Satan's kingdom start? We talk a lot about heaven being like up, it was actually not great way of thinking about it, but we do. We kind of think, oh, well, people go to heaven, and we often refer to heaven as being up and away, kind of like distant. And we also know that Satan fell. So when we hear that, we naturally think falling is a downward because of gravity. We're kind of ruled by gravity here on earth. So if anything falls, it goes down physically from up to down. So we think, well, if heaven's up there, then Satan fell down to earth. So then we begin to build this picture language almost, which is heaven is somewhere up and out and distant. And that's where God's kingdom is. And Satan's kingdom, Satan's domain, where Satan belongs, where he rules, is here. He was sent to earth, which is just terrible theology. And we might not say that, but we often believe parts of that. Now, this is my opinion, but I believe it's probably more close to the fact that Satan was sent to earth so we could punish him, rather than the other way around. If you understand that when we were created in the image of God, the very thing that Satan wanted was to be like God. Then we were created, and we took that place. We were God's kind of greatest creation. It was closest to him in his image. That made him jealous, made him want to kind of aspire to be God, to try to ascend and get bigger, if you like, to take God's place. And he was kind of cast out. And so we do have this weird theology that The earth is Satan's, and it's just terrible. And I think David, and this is a theme that runs throughout Scripture, that God is in control. That right now on earth, it is his stomping ground. He has all power, he has all authority, which means if he has all, it means Satan has none. And I'm not going to get into, that's a whole nother video maybe, of how does Satan get away with certain things, and why is sin then still part of the earth. But I think what I want to say to you this morning is have confidence. The earth is his and everything on it. Everyone who walks upon it will eventually bow the knee to Jesus. And if he is the King of Kings, you are a prince or a princess because you are his heir, you are his daughter or his son, which means you have confidence, you have authority, you have power. When you move it in his authority and his power. So God bless you, Lighthouse. Be conscious and confident.